Update. I cheated on my wife 3 years ago. She agreed to forgive me if we opened the marriage, but now I live in agony every day. Original post. So basically, my wife, 39, found out that I, 41, had been hooking up with a woman I met online who lived 2 hours away. When the woman visited, we checked into a hotel. This went on for 3 months, and we had met a handful of times when my wife caught us. She was waiting in the hotel lobby and saw us coming down from the room. She left me the next day. We separated for 8 months, and they were terrible for all of us, especially the children, 9, 7, and 3. We started talking about getting back together. My wife thought that since our sex life wasn't enough for me, and since she was sure I would cheat on her again, we might as well open the marriage. I told her no, because I had learned my lesson, but she wouldn't waver. I relented. We decided, well, she did, not to tell each other the when, where, or with whom. Now, over 2 years later, we are back to normal on the outside. On the inside, I'm dying a little each day. Every time I see her happy, I wonder if it's just her old bubbly self or if she's thinking of someone else. She is a very beautiful woman, and I'm sure she has no problems finding men who want her. Whenever she takes a shower after coming home, whenever she rejects my advances, I think that she has been with someone, and that kills me. I have tried to discuss closing the marriage again, but she shuts down those attempts very quickly with a divorce card. Before all this happened, we had amazing sex several times a week, but now we've probably done it 4 to 5 times in the past 3 years. She demands I use protection, and she refuses to let me go down on her or get her off in any way. I stopped asking because the sex is painfully bad now. I haven't slept with anybody else because the look on my wife's face in that lobby still makes me sick with guilt. I don't know how much more I can take. I love my wife, and I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Will she ever stop punishing me? Have you ever forgiven a cheating spouse and stopped punishing them? What's going on in her head? Now for the top advice before reading the update. So you had great sex life, but you needed to cheat? Okay. Divorce or let it go. You brought this on yourself. Yes, we had amazing sex, and it got better with time because we knew every part of the other's body. Never boring. I cheated because I wanted the excitement, I guess. I thought only a few months and end it. Get it out of my system. My mistress knew it too. It was over the moment you cheated. And her wanting open marriage means it's 100% over. She just doesn't want the divorce legal issues. Yep, she's with him for the kids. Revenge orgasms are keeping her happy. She's probably just waiting till the kids are out of the house, honestly. I think you're right. She is refusing to fully feel sexual pleasure with her husband because she doesn't want to enjoy him or keep wanting him that way. I think she's only staying because of the kids and for financial help and help with parenthood. She's super smart, to be honest, because she took back her control. Hope he will never have the wife or relationship he had before. I think that women died the minute she took one look at your post-orgasm face in that hotel lobby. Why did you do it? She gave you 3 kids and still had a great sex life with you. Why did you ruin her good marriage? Why did you ruin it for yourself? Cake eaters, they never learn. Had amazing sex 4 to 5 times a week. You screwed the pooch and now you get no cooch. Fooled around and found out, if ever I saw it. Now for the update. Thank you everybody for the reality check. The general consensus that I gathered from the comments, I never thought there would be so many, I'm still reading them, is that you believe my wife doesn't love me anymore. It's probably the truth. She is staying with me for the children, and I fully understand her. I love my children too, and I want to be in their lives all the time, every day. We have worked so hard for the beautiful life we have, and we did it all primarily for the sake of our children. I will not ruin that now for selfish reasons. I have decided to stop hoping/wanting/demanding love and forgiveness from her. Instead, I will accept that I will always live with this guilt. That's only fair. I will enjoy the other aspects of our marriage, like raising our beautiful children with an amazing person like her and watching them grow up to be the good human beings they are. I will always love my wife, and I will always regret what I have done, but I need to move on too. I'm going to seek help for my mental health and probably start seeing other people too, when or if I'm ready. It might be a good idea to broach this with her. Is an open relationship the best thing for your family, or should you go your separate ways and co-parent amicably? A marriage without love leaves you open to resentment, and that can only be contained for so long. Don't assume that your children won't feel or be aware of this resentment. You're modeling what a romantic relationship looks like to them. It's a big responsibility. Yep, better to separate. Instead of living a lie which will make your children emotionally damaged. I went along with a loveless marriage for several months for the kids. Now that I finally got my guts to divorce her, we're better parents and friends separately than we were together. We even live in the same apartment complex for now, so the kids can walk back and forth as needed. Far healthier for the kids to see. Just one thing, kids will feel the tension, but won't understand it. Been there, and I was crying myself at night for my parents to get separated, because I hate to live with them because I knew they hated each other. I was 8. Don't do the same mistake. Divorced parents is always better for kids than married parents who hate each other. I remember begging my parents to get a divorce for about a decade prior to moving out. My parents almost never fought in front of me, but even when things were good, I could still feel it in the air. Kids notice lack of warmth and affection. They can't verbalize it, but they can tell. OP is still in denial. He says he can accept his wife's stance, but he doesn't realize their relationship is the only one damaged. He still thinks he can win over his kids by convincing them nothing's wrong. Put down the copium and get an amicable divorce. And for God's sake, find a girlfriend or something, because you need to get over this yesterday. My parents also almost never fought in front of us, and I think that was a mistake. I didn't get to learn firsthand that it's okay to share your feelings, talk it out, reassure, and make up afterward. I grew up conflict avoidant because I thought that was healthy. It was such a surprise to learn that conflict is in fact healthy in relationships and friendships. I'm learning that now in my 30s and putting it into practice. But even now, when I want to share my feelings, I worry that there isn't a safe space to do so, and that the friendship will end. Of course, some friendships end anyway, and the ones that can't hold space for sharing feelings are better out of my life anyway. Next story. Ex left me for another guy, got pregnant, and now wants me back. I feel like I got a revenge fantasy fulfilled, but it doesn't actually feel very good. A year ago, my girlfriend of 2 years left me seemingly out of the blue. A few weeks later, she was dating a new guy. I don't think she cheated, but I do think she developed an interest in him and broke up with me specifically to date him. He's definitely more attractive than I am and has a better job. So, in a way, I couldn't really blame her. Obviously, there's more to a man than his looks and his income, but on a surface level, he's way better than an average-looking guy like me, who just fixes computers in a back room all day. Once I saw that, I removed her from everything and did what I could to put her out of my mind. I moved on and hadn't heard anything about her until a few days ago when she messaged me asking to talk. She wanted to meet up, but I told her I'd rather never see her again, so she could text if she wanted to say anything. She told me that her new guy had become abusive, and when he found out she was pregnant, he demanded she terminate or he'd leave her. So she left and moved in with her parents. She went on about how bad her situation had been with him for a while. His parents looked down on her and accused her of being after their money, actually tried to convince her privately to leave their son so he could find someone else, and a few other unpleasant things. Whether all this is true, I have no idea. She then hinted at wanting to get back together, but I shut that down immediately. I told her I'm not going to take her back after she discarded me for someone else, only to come back with his child and expect me to be some safety net for a woman I no longer feel anything for. I told her to lose my contact info and leave me alone, then blocked her. She tried a few other ways to contact me, but I just block and refuse to engage further. This feels like a scenario a lot of guys dream of, a sort of messed up revenge on an ex that hurt them. But all I feel is sadness. That child has a rough life ahead of them, with a father that wants them to not exist, and a mother who I also don't think too highly of now. I won the breakup, I guess, But it's a hollow victory. I feel kind of dumb for it, but I cried a bit this morning thinking about it, and I don't want to tell anyone else about this in person, so I'm sharing it here. Now for the comments. It's a hollow victory. You're a well-balanced person. You're all right. Don't change. Thanks, but I tripped and got hot sauce over myself, so I'm not that well-balanced, and I'm gonna have to change. But also, genuinely thank you for the kind words. You're also quite funny, OP. You're a good person, and I hope you find a partner as kind and empathetic as yourself, who deserves you and will always value you. A man's best revenge is to move on and succeed in life without her. That will destroy her way more than this. The best revenge is a life well lived was something I read shortly after our breakup that stuck with me. I moved on and lived my life without her. Now that I've seen her get a bit of karmic justice, I just don't feel anything but sympathy for her child, and a little bit even for her. Don't let that sympathy or sadness put you in the mind of wanting to help. You are a good person, and she knows that. When she comes around, and she will, do not let her tears sway you. Don't let her pleas for you to help feed her kid have you digging into your pockets to give her money. When she needs a place to stay, don't be that guy to let her stay for a few days. She is desperate, and that's why she reached out. That desperation won't go away with one attempt. Stay vigilant. Sounds like she only wants you back to have someone to help her with soon-to-be child. Luckily, I know her parents have been wanting grandkids and will be happy to help her. They were pressuring us for a kid shortly before we broke up, and it was clear they didn't want just one. So I hope they still have that desire because they are great people and will be wonderful grandparents to her child if that's the case. Last story. My ex's mother called me years after the breakup and I told her some truths. About a month ago, my ex-mother-in-law messaged me asking if we could talk. She used to treat me almost like a daughter, very understanding and warm, always kind to me, but she was extremely lenient toward her son, whom she spoiled rotten, quite literally. Well, not exactly literally, but you know. So I said okay, and she called me on the phone. She told me this whole story about how my ex-father-in-law is going broke and how everything has been getting more expensive. She told me about my ex's last girlfriend, which lasted only a few months, and about his ex-wife, whom he married after we broke up. That lasted a year. So, what she wanted was to ask me for help, for me to give a statement attesting to his good character, because his ex-wife is suing him, accusing him of SA and stalking, because she's autistic. She didn't get into detail. The thing is, this relationship ended about 5 years ago. I thank the gods to this day that I was able to escape that hellhole. He was never physically abusive to me. Well, except for the coerced sex, which happened more often than I care to admit. But he would verbally trample me. Like, literally argue every single thing I said, every idea, even my feelings. He rationalized everything and found ways to convince me that, logically, my feelings were wrong. He convinced me I didn't have any friends anymore. He pulled me away from my family. He would manipulate everybody around him, including his parents, who just thought he was very bright. He would say that home chores were demeaning, and therefore he wouldn't do them. And the house would be a dumpster for days and days. He would not even do the dishes. Meanwhile, I was finishing law school and working an internship, basically sleeping no more than 6 hours a day. And he was unemployed, had already finished his degree, and just stayed at home all day playing video games. We lived together for 6 years. My only regret was not leaving sooner. He would be rude to waiters and pretty much every worker. He would speak a lot and very fast and very loud in a way that no one could get a word in, much less a full sentence. Once I got sick, puking and sweating with the flu. I asked for help, and he said he couldn't do anything. I had to call my mother, who brought me meds and soup and sat with me. Once, he threatened to kill himself if I left him. He told me multiple times he believed sex was not about pleasure, but about power. Knowing it was important to me, he would withhold it. He pretty much broke me, and though I'm much better now, I'm still healing. Some months ago, he reached out saying that he had broken up with his girlfriend and that we should speak again because how come he wouldn't have me in his life anymore? And also, he was going to the gym. and he was tested at a high testosterone level, and that religious girls were worse than feminists because at least we were sincere. Like, he said some crazy things. That was on WhatsApp. I blocked him without responding. He then proceeded to message me on Instagram, which I blocked, then had the audacity to send an SMS. I blocked him there too. Blocked him everywhere. Didn't even listen to the voice notes or open the pictures. I don't want to know. So yeah, when his mother called me asking for help, I told her I'm sorry. I feel your pain as a mother and I even sympathize, but I cannot get involved, and I will not say something that I cannot attest is true. And yeah, I got mad and ended up telling her a thing or two about her precious son. She, and every friend of his and his family, are definitely blocked for good now. And once again, I thank the gods I was able to leave that situation behind, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Glad you came out of the relationship. What made you realize it in the end? After 6 years? Your story and realization might help others. Honestly, I knew I was unhappy for at least a couple years, but I felt like I couldn't leave him. So it was brewing, you know, and he'd always threaten that I'd leave him. He'd say, "Oh, you want to leave me then?" Every argument we had. So one day I answered yes. Yes, I want to leave you. But what really pushed me over the edge was this song by a Brazilian artist. I was at school and the video clip started playing on TV and it just clicked. I like to say that song is the official soundtrack to my breakup. Haha. It's literally the artist singing, "Leave me alone. Let me live my life. Let me be happy," and stuff like that. Forget about him, his family, and people who enable men like him. You are free, smart, and happy now. Treat yourself to a night out in town. Enjoy your life. Good riddance. You should have agreed to testify, but never use the phrase, "for him." When you're on the stand, tell them that he verbally and emotionally abused you, as well as repeatedly raping you. Actually, contact his ex and offer a written statement. I would love to have a chat with her, that's for sure. My sister did this. It was healing for her because nobody understood what she went through as that girl. I highly suggest you do this.